On July 31st, 2010, prior to the disruption of the IAS ceremony and
Me and I will sue your ass. Oh. I will sue.
Horse-based ceremony.
in Los Angeles. You and Choquette were at the Church of Scientology in Pasadena, correct?
Yes. The Ideal Org of Pasadena.
The two of you were posing as tourists, is that
Yes.
right? You went into the church in Pasadena and pretended you were interested in Scientology?
Yes.
You knew that if people knew who you were, that you saw there, that they wouldn't let you in, right?
Yes.
During the incident in Pasadena, well, let me play a composite of a DVD. You put 3 videos up on your website, didn't you, concerning this incident? Just a minute. During this incident on July 31st in Pasadena?
Yes. Oh no, point the camera at me. Oh no, point the camera at me.
That you posted on AngryGayPope.com is a compilation video taken by both you and Mr. Choquette?
Yes.
Did he give you his video and you put them together?
Yes. Remember earlier when I said that the last time he was at my house was July 31st?
Yes.
He was there because he came inside to copy his camera chip into my computer. And then I took all the footage and combined it.
So you have the entirety of the footage that he took that day?
Yes.
You still possess it?
Yes, I do.
That should have been produced to us, Mr. Berry. Will you produce all that footage to us?
No, I'm not. I've already given you 27 gigs.
This is afterwards.
July 31st, that was like after I had been deposed.
Yeah.
The deposition was renoticed.
Yes, but with no further notice to produce further documents.
No, that's not true. We had was correspondence indicating that if he's produced all records responsive to it, then you don't need to produce any more. If the other records
Responsive to the previous
Yes.
request.
Okay, I'll get another subpoena then and subpoena him for next week if you want to do that.
We're willing to clarify. This video was created subsequent to the previous demand, even though there's no current demand covering it. We will produce it voluntarily.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I dispute that it's not currently demanded, but if we'll produce all the video that you took during July 31st at Pasadena and at L. Ron Hubbard Way, and all the video in your possession that Mr. Choquette took at Pasadena and L. Ron Hubbard Way.
What about the Religious Technology Center?
July 31st?
Yes.
Okay, that too. So you'll produce all that?
All the July 31 Scientology-related footage, wherever it was taken.
Both taken by Mr. Myers and Mr. Choquette?
That's in Mr. Myers' custody.
Yes, that I have.
All right.
Most of which is already online.
Now, when you went into Pasadena, you were whispering.
Pretend you're a tourist and shut up.
When you first went in. Why were you whispering?
We were whispering because we were talking to each other, and we didn't want anyone else to hear.
Didn't want anyone else to know that you were there under some other pretense?
Yes.
And a couple of times, I can play further for you if you
Sure,
like.
sure.
But you asked someone if you could take some photographs, and you clicked and made a photograph, for example, of L. Ron Hubbard's office. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes. Who's L. Ron Hubbard?
Ron Hubbard is the founder, the person who, wrote the books and the materials and everything.
Oh, does he work here?
He's actually not around anymore. But it's a tradition that every church on the planet he was used to travel a lot.
Uh-huh.
So we always have an office for him.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, that reminds everybody he's still around in your thoughts or
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, he definitely wrote everything, you know, which we
Can
are
I
definitely...
take a picture?
Why did you ask her if you could take a picture of L. Ron Hubbard's office when you were already filming it?
Because I wanted to verify with her that indoor photography was allowed.
And up to that point, she would have been under the understanding that you weren't taking any pictures, right?
Yes, she would have. She would have thought we were not taking pictures.
There were several other men that were being filmed.
Oh, so this is Taiwan, of course. It's not mainland China.
Not yet.
In fact, a number of people that were being filmed inside. Did you tell any of them you were filming them?
No.
See where our conflicts are and solve them as a married couple.
There were a number of staff members that were gathering, that were having a discussion. Was that video taken by you or Mr. Choquette?
That was mine.
You didn't tell any of those people you were videoing their discussions, were you?
No. Beautiful building.
Isn't it?
You just told the lady that you were speaking to in this video, the Italian girl, that you just
Oh, she was Italian.
you just happened to be walking down Colorado Boulevard, and you happened to see this building. That was not true, was it?
No, that was a lie.
It's Mr. Choquette and the way he's dressed with sunglasses and kind of a Australian hat or something, and in shorts. Were you trying to dress as tourists, to look like tourists?
No, we were trying to dress in a way that would hide his face and hair.
So that no one would recognize him?
Yes.
Stop the video, Mama. What we've just seen in the video is you and Mr. Choquette talking to a man about Scientology practice, correct?
Yes.
And for the purposes of the video, it's a man who looks like he's, I don't know, in his 50s perhaps, and you superimposed on it, yet he has no gray hair.
Yes.
Was this man informed that he was being recorded?
No.
If you're going to be Christian, you switch over to Muslim. You're no longer a Christian, you're now a Muslim. Typically, people change from one religion to another.
You mean like...
You superimposed on the screen, workers are being sent upstairs, correct?
Yes.
Why did you do that?
Because I saw them all going upstairs.
You thought at that point you had been discovered? Or possibly been discovered?
I was curious the minute the Italian lady was pulled away.
How does that
Sorry, I need to steal for 1 second.
Sure. Okay, maybe you can answer.
Suspicious?
Yes.
So you thought perhaps you had been discovered?
Yes.
Now you've superimposed on the screen as we're watching the words, "Security is coming."
Yes.
Why did you do that?
Because within a moment or two, security arrives. And I wanted to alert the viewer ahead of time.
Did you perceive that security was coming? or-
No.
This is post hoc?
Yes.
Now you and Mr. Choquette were both basically screaming inside the church after you were discovered?
Yes.
David discovered squirrels attack!
Was that planned or was it a spontaneous act by you?
It was planned.
Between you and Mr. Choquette?
Yes.
How so? How was that planned?
He didn't want to go in, but I said, let's go in. And if we're discovered, we should yell pro-LRH things.
So you planned in advance to do this yelling.
Only if we were discovered.
Did you intend for people inside to hear you?
Yes.
Is that why you were yelling so loudly?
Yes.
Is that why Choquette was yelling so loudly?
Yes.
Did you care if you disrupted activities within the church?
We saw no activities.
Did you care if you disrupted activities within the church?
No.
Counsel,
When
when,
did you first
when are we
plan-
going to get to something to do with the Choquette case instead of something that happened 2 years later, which we're dealing with now,
When
and
did-
have dealt with most of the morning?
When did you plan this raid, the July 31st raid?
We planned the July 31st raid on July 31st, 2010.
That morning.
Yes.
Do you still have the emails between yourself and Mr. Turkett?
No, they've been deleted
Why?
because I always delete all my emails. I don't back anything up.
You said in the video that you were raised Catholic.
Correct.
Is that right? I assume you're not a practicing Catholic now.
No.
In fact, do you harass members of Catholic Church at their church somehow?
George, you're not acting in a Christian manner.
I don't give a fuck. Listen.
I've never harassed any Catholic church. I've protested. Maybe you shouldn't name your priest buildings after semen, because like a seminary, that's going to just attract gays. I just know it will. How come your priests molest little boys?
I don't know, I'm not Catholic. I came from my wife.
Oh,
I'm Jewish.
I could tell.
Do you hate all religion or just Catholicism and Scientology?
Objection, next foundation.
Hate?
Sorry?
So you're trying to put the word hate in my mouth? Yes, you are. I think that all religions are equal. I don't believe any of them. LRH Tech, yes! David Miscavige, no! Have a good day, sir. We'll be right back.
And that's the new church for the City of Roses, the Church of Scientology of Pasadena.
David Miscavige beats his staff!
Hey.
Yes.
Be doing
Listen,
this all day long.
No, listen. Can you please leave
No.
this place?
You yell in the video as you're screaming at the front door. The front door is open. You people are too stupid to close the door. Why did you say that?
Because I felt that they should shut the door when there's a protest outside. And they didn't seem to understand that. They were not a cause over mess.
And you superimposed on the screen, I want them to shut the door, correct?
Yes.
Why do you want them to shut the door?
Because it would make it even less likely for people to go inside if the door is closed.
Okay, continue.
Council, it's nearly an hour and a half since this deposition started. There hasn't been a single question about the Choquette case. If nothing is asked before the lunch break, we will not be returning this afternoon.